Game 1 on Saturday is not the Final Four. It is the Crown. Nebraska taking on Boise State, Las Vegas, Nevada. Boise State and Tyson. He's my favorite player in college hoops, but Tyson Degenerate Hart he's phenomenal.
Tanner?
Tanner Degenerate Hart is my favorite player in college. But if you haven't seen him yet,
Dagenhart. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I apologize. Yes, we are making fun of CBS Sports. Yes, Boise State's laying 1.5. This game's actually awesome. I know we've come at the Crown a little bit. Mac, you got your headspace back going good after they refunded you.
Yeah,
right?
good people.
They're good people, and they're good people playing this game right now as USC takes the lead right now. 57-56 with 2:21 left. But this Nebraska Boise game has me pretty excited to watch. Boise's laying 1.5. Buckham Broncos. Leon Rice is my guy. You know I'm at Mountain West Media Days doing fucking oyster shooters at the bar right down the floor below, and then I come up there and talk to these guys. And Leon Rice, hell of a nice guy. Degenhart, Andrew Meadow. I know it's not the way they wanted their careers to end, but it is. They're here in the Crown, and I think they're going to move along to the championship game. I'm going to lay the 1.5. Mac, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to take Nebraska, man. I like what I've seen from Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary. I think they're super motivated as well to continue their college careers. I couldn't believe this Nebraska team choked the way they did down the stretch, but they've been motivated out there in Vegas. They were impressive pulling away from Georgetown, Arizona State. They should have lost that game, but came back, got that yips out of the way. I like the Cornhuskers here. I think they knock off Boise. Bieniek?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Fred Hoiberg over Leon Rice. Napkin also has Nebraska -1, total at 152.5. I agree with a lot of what Mac had already just said.
Well, you can just say you like the Big Ten more than the Mountain West. I understand.
No, I like Boise. I think they're a very solid team. Could have been in the NCAA
don't try to pepper this one like Mac last night after saying, "Well, look, Big 12 won Big 12." He's like, "I was not touting.
Big 12's in the Final Four of the Gold Crown, the old shiny Knights."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bina. Continue your point.
No, I think that where there's possibly an edge is Boise State's a really good rebounding team, and Nebraska hasn't quite been offensively, at least. But I think Nebraska, I think they've been a little bit more impressive to me in the Crown for what it's worth. They've had a tougher first two opponents, so I'll go the Huskers here. Just get me to the Final Four.
All right, we got a battle. This game's awesome. What are you talking about? Don't shit on this game. It's a fun game. All right. We got a battle in Vegas. Dundee on the Broncos. Mac and Phoenix on the Huskers. All right, we have another game, but in the Crown, we will get to that later because right now it's 59-59 with 59 seconds left. Holy shit! Auburn, Florida, in San Antonio, Texas. Todd Golden going up against Bruce Pearl. He beat Bruce Pearl, his old boss, earlier this year. So I know Bruce Pearl's thinking. You know what Bruce Pearl's thinking? He's thinking,
because I understand how the bastard thinks. I taught him. Now I own one.
Janai Broom has been, dinged up. He says he's 100%. I don't know if I buy that shit or not. Do you buy that shit, Mac? Is he 100%?
I don't think he's been 100% since the first tip-off of the year. He was in a shoulder brace from the very get-go, rolled his ankle in late January, early February, whenever that was. I don't think he's been 100% for the last month plus.
I agree with Noah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think the injuries will be as big an issue as they would be if they win this game on a short turn. He's had 6 days to take God knows what drugs they're juicing him up with. It is the SEC.
I love how this is the narrative too.
Can we take samples?
I love how this is the narrative too prior to the game. Like Janai Broom has 6 days of rest heading into this one. That's more days of rest than he's had over the last, I don't know how many weeks. Maybe outside of the SEC tournament into the NCAA tournament, but still, he'll welcome that rest.
Yeah, and Auburn, please, whatever you're giving Janai Broom drug wise, please, we will take samples over here on the college experience. Please, Florida's laying 2.5. Now, this is my thing here. Whoever makes the in-game adjustments is going to probably win the game, or Walter Clayton Jr. is just going to go in fuck you mode, and that's what I'm banking on here. I'm taking the Gators minus 2.5 points to get to the national championship. Yeah, I already bet it. Feeling good about it. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm wearing the Florida hat. So those on watching on video know where I'm going on this. But I do think that Bruce Pearl's not going to deploy the same strategy and game plan that they did earlier in the first game, where Florida won 90-81. They were leading by 20 plus in the jungle. They are not going to want to run with the Gators here, I don't believe. Auburn has shown tendencies of being able to win in multiple different game scripts this season, whether it's a slow, drag-it-out game or whether it's a very high-scoring up-and-down game. I don't think that they're best suited to win that up-and-down game, especially with a couple of guys that are nicked up. So I think this is going to be a slower tempoed pace game. For what it's worth, I like the under here. The napkin does have it right at 159.5. With that being said, I think that Florida's guards are better than Auburn's guards. And I think that's what it comes down to in this one. I think that, the first matchup where Auburn played Florida, Janai, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. I kind of expect that or a little bit less of Janai. I am going to take Florida because I think it's guards on guards in this matchup. And I've been saying it pretty much the entire year. I think the Gators trio is better than a lot of other trios in the country. So Florida minus 2.5 under. Do you want props now, or are we going to wait for props until after Mac gives an angle?
After Mac gives an angle, but yeah, so we're both on Florida. I agree with you. I like the under too at this stadium. Mac, what are you doing here?
So early in the week, I was like, oh, Florida's going to boat race him. And I was buying into the Broom narrative, and I started thinking more and more about it. And Broom's been hurt since January. This isn't anything new that he's banged up. I know a lot of people are running with that angle because they probably just tuned into college basketball 2 weeks ago. I thought that Florida actually whipped him on the glass, and that was why they won that game. I went back and watched that game. Elijah Martin was ruled out the morning of that game.
Yeah.
Walter played and went fucking bonkers. And you know who else went bonkers? Urban Klavzar, the fourth white card. They came in and made every three. They made 13 threes, and that's why they ambushed Auburn at the jungle. Bruce Pearl, I listened to his press conference today. They're not going to guard Florida the way that they guarded him before. And Noah's point, they're going to drag it in the half court. And I think that you're getting Bruce Pearl as a dog, and I thought about this more. I'm not taking Todd Golden as a favorite in his biggest game of his coaching career against his mentor when they haven't looked good in the tournament. To be honest, Auburn has looked better than Florida.
Both have looked a little sketchy at times, but yes, you're right.
I would say Auburn is actually playing better over the last 2 weeks. I think Florida's actually hit a little bit of that wall.
I would say Florida's played better competition, though.
Maybe. Probably. But they've been very vulnerable inside. And Texas Tech got what they wanted at the rim. UConn got what they wanted at the rim. I think he's going to challenge those guards, Mazzara, Jones, Kelly, and then Pettiford's going to make enough big plays down the stretch with Broom. And Cardwell, too. I think Auburn's going to beat him, actually. The more and more I thought about it, revenge angle, Bruce Pearl, rah-rah, underdog role. He's been in a Final Four. They should have beat Virginia last time they were in the Final Four. I don't think they mess it up this time. I think they beat Florida.
You mentioned this though, and Janai Broome almost had a triple double in that game. If he's dinged up just a little bit, I mean, and another thing is
here though.
I know, but I'm just saying he almost had a triple double in that fucking game.
18,
you know what
11
I mean?
and
Yeah.
something. Yeah. 9.
And then another thing is they killed them on the glass. Auburn did. Are they going to be able to still get that, especially if you change up the defensive approach? Are you going to be able to dominate the boards like you did before? That to me is a big X factor in this game. But I do believe, like, I'm kind of with you, Mac, where I thought, man, I trust Pearl more than I do Golden, but both aren't known for their in-game adjustments.
For what it's worth, I think it was 40-40 rebound battle in that game.
It was.
What? No, I mean, on offensive rebounding, it was 15-9. Auburn to Florida.
Do you know what the line was last time they played?
Yeah, Auburn was favored by like 8.
11.
11.
Now they're a dog.
So here's my angle, because I think Colby and I are seeing eye to eye here. I just don't think they can operate through Janai. I think it's a guard-on-guard matchup. Miles Kelly was money against Florida in that first game. I think that it's going to be guard-on-guard, and it's either going to be Denver Jones, Miles Kelly, Chad Baker-Mazara. Somebody is going to have a great game for the Tigers on the perimeter. Give me Miles Kelly higher than 12.5 points and assists over on Underdog Fantasy. Use code TCE SGPN.
Woo.
He's taken 47 3-pointers in the postseason. That's 6 postseason games, and it's 3-6. This player projection is, or 3-3 in his last 6 games. I think that you're going to see more possessions where he has a chance offensively than you would have other games recently. So.
Yeah, and speaking of which, on Underdog Fantasy, promo code TCE SGPN, Janai Broome lower than 19.5 points. Wait a second. So he was healthier and he was at home in the jungle and he only went for 18?
Yeah.
Smash that lower. Smash that fucking lower. But back to your point on the actual game, Bieniek, what's crazy is you dive into this box score from the game back on when the fuck was this? What month was this? This was January? February, early February, I think. Was Auburn kind of destroys the box score here. Like you look at this, Auburn had more steals, points in the paint. Auburn had 8 more points, second chance points. They had 7 more points.
3 balls.
Yeah. I mean, free throws is what killed Auburn. Free throws. Just 61% from the free throw line. Florida was 83%, only missed 3 free throws the entire game. But Auburn shot a lot more of them. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Florida is just the better team here. In-game adjustments, sure. Bruce Pearl was probably the coach I would trust more to make those adjustments. But I just think Walter Clayton Jr. is playing at an elite level. Part of the reasons why I did take the higher than 20.5. I think he likes the spotlight on him. He's clearly shown that this tournament. And yeah, I think the Gators prevail, and I think they rebound the ball better than they did in that matchup at the Jungle. Keep an eye on that. I think Florida's going to win the rebounding battle.
They got whipped because they gave up 13 threes. I don't think Florida. I think all week Pearl's gonna have Kelly, Jones, and Mazar ready to get up in and get in Clayton's shit. I think they're going to be super physical with him. I know he makes crazy ass shots. He made 3 from like the logo in this game. And now I know he's done that a bunch this year, but I'll bank on this not coming to fruition this time around. I'm going to take the higher 15.5 points on Tahad Pettiford because he's always been the X factor in these big games. I think that they had won like 13 in a row going into this Florida game. They had a bad night, asleep at the wheel. I don't think they're asleep here. I think they punch Florida in the mouth. They're the more physical team. So Auburn and Tahad Pettiford game for me.
There we go. Jake Flynn says, I just joined, boys. Did you guys talk about the NIT? Yeah, we did a watch along. Check it out. And by the way, Villanova just won 60-59 against USC as they advance. Look, a lot of people were saying these crown games were NBA games. I'm glad they gave us a 90s NBA
rock
game,
fight,
60 to
yeah.
50-9. Houston is in San Antonio taking on the Duke Blue Devils. Duke's laying 5.5. Remember a year ago, Sweet 16 run by Kelvin Sampson. Jamal Shedd gets injured, and John Shire and the Blue Devils advanced by 3. I think it was 54-51, if memory serves me correct. Duke laying 5.5 to me. I think we kind of hit on this, guys, what we recapped the other day with Grant Nelson. I think Alabama gave them a little nugget. Like Alabama got their ass whooped, but Grant Nelson defended Cooper Flagg pretty well. I think Kelvin Sampson's sitting over there taking notes on who, and I'm fascinated to see who he pairs up on Cooper Flagg, providing they don't get in foul trouble, which, you know, probably will happen. But still, I'm kind of fascinated by that element. The way Houston can rebound the ball, the chip on the shoulder, losing to Duke a year ago, and the way they lost with losing one of their top guys. I'm all over the 5.5 with Houston there in San Antonio. This is the year of Kelvin Sampson. He gets that natty. Oh, did I reveal my hand for the Sunday show? But honestly, I think Houston's going to defend better. I think it's going to be a 1-possession game with a minute left. So give me the 5.5 with Houston. I think they're going to defend the 3 well. I'm a little like they got to figure out a plan for Knuppel. That motherfucker's underrated.
He's good.
Really underrated. Yeah. But I think I think Houston's going to prevail. Give me like a rock fight type of win. Houston, I don't know, 64-62 or something like that. They get that dub. Bieniek, what are you doing here? Or actually, Mac. Mac's got a TV spot. So
I'm actually at 12:15. So I misread the text. So we got 20
idiot.
minutes.
Perfect. Let me do another shot then. Let me do another shot. Let's talk about it.
Bieniek, take it away.
No, you go.
All right. So I was always going to be on Houston. I mean, Houston's my national champion pick, and
me too.
With the way some people are talking about Houston, you would think Duke's playing Houston Christian this week. No offense to Houston Christian.
Love their football, CVS.
They were money for us ATS this year.
Did you know, just so we throw a couple facts out there on Houston, they've won 30 out of 31. They have not lost a game in regulation since Saturday, November 9th against Auburn. So just a couple stats, like Houston's not some slapdick team that some of these people are making them out to be. Everybody talks about the Shedd injury, myself included. But Sampson pointed this out today. You know who else wasn't healthy for that fucking game? He was out for the year? Tugler. Tugler is going to be the one that's going to be guarding Cooper Flagg here on Saturday night. I mean, they're going to throw multiple bodies at him.
And by the way, Cooper Flagg lower than 18.5 points. Yes. Promo code TCESGPN. Sorry, Matt, continue.
Yes, I'll co-sign that. And I was thinking about a team comp in the ACC. It was hard to find just because we talked about how bad the ACC is. The slowest team outside of Virginia is Clemson. What did Clemson do? They limited possessions. They dragged them in the mud. They did the opposite of what Alabama tried to do against Duke on Saturday. Houston, I know everybody talks about their defense. They are the number 1 3-point shooting team in the country, too. It's a weird combo that they're the number 1 3-point shooting team and the number 1 defense. You usually don't see those two paired up. Houston's got the vets. Houston's got Kelvin Sampson on 6 days of prep. They also are in San Antonio, if you did not know. And they also have had by far the hardest fucking bracket. They tried to keep them out of the Final Four. They didn't want them to see Duke in the Final Four. They gave them a KenPom top 10 team in Gonzaga in the round of fucking 32. They gave them Purdue in Indy. They gave them Tennessee in Indy. They've already won back-to-back road games. Keep the 5.5, which is my favorite dog number. I don't need 5.5. Houston is knocking off the Dukies. Revenge Saturday night at the Alamo. Give me those Houston guards, and the X Factor, Jawan Roberts, comes up big time with those 10 to 12-foot floaters over Malawatch. Let's go, Cougs.
Bieniek, do we have a triple lock?
I don't know. My pick, by the way, brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code SGPN10 for 10% off any tickets. Plenty of events going on, whether it's baseball, MLB, or college baseball. if you're heading down to San Antonio for the Final Four. Plenty of action to get in over there. SGPN 10% off any tickets. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. I'm on Duke to win. I just think that this is going to be a close game, and when it's a close game, it'll matter who has the whistle. No doubt in my mind, this Duke team's getting the whistle. The Houston crowd's going to keep them in the game the entire way, though. I think Houston's experience is really, really a huge factor in this game. The three freshmen have been Duke's best three players all season long, but none of them handle a ball. This is still a Duke team that doesn't have a traditional point guard. They've done pretty damn well down the second half of the season, really kind of ironing things out. But against these high pressure teams, like Duke's gonna put some pressure on the ball handler here. Is it Sion James? Is it Con Knipple? Is it Cooper Flagg? In those tight early season games, that's where Duke had their issues. Houston's going to present those type of issues again. Will they come to the forefront? And they are issues still? I don't know. I have Duke winning. I have Houston covering the 5.5. So it is going to be a triple lock. I like the under in this one as well. The Cocktail Napkins got it at 133.5. My look for this one that I like the most is Kaman Malawach, higher than 22.85 fantasy points. Houston, if they're not making their shots from deep, are going to have to go down low. The reason why I question that number one three-point shooting percentage in the nation, Mac, is because of Duke's length. The same reason that they kept Alabama at arm's length the entire way was because Alabama really couldn't get a ton of clean looks from deep. Yes, Houston's very efficient, and they scheme up their open looks, but I still think that Duke's length is going to give them some issues. So they're going to have to go in deep. And Kaman Malawach has 6 blocks in the last 3 games. Blocks are worth 3 fantasy points each. And he's going to be the best rebounder on the floor, on the defensive end, especially if Houston is chucking up some missed shots. I like Malawach to fill up the stat sheet in a variety of ways rather than just points. Also, another good look is Emmanuel Sharp, higher than 21.15 fantasy points. Steals are worth 3. He is one of their best perimeter defenders. If Houston's applying that ball pressure like I think they will, Duke could have some issues out there, and that's going to tally up steals. Mac has said that Sharp is game in big moments the entire year. He's been the one that's hit some clutch threes for them this year. So I like Sharp to stuff the stat sheet as well. 2 fantasy points higher than on Underdog Fantasy.
Woo! Get on over there. Promo code TCE SGPN. We have a triple lock with the Houston Cougars. Let's go. Plus 5.5.
Hey, underrated nugget. Houston's already played 2 games in a football stadium. So them
different, a little different though.
Yeah, but
now you're across the 50 now instead of across the end zone.
True, but at least they're used to the elevated floor and that bullshit element that it provides. So this will be Duke's first game on an elevated floor all year.
There. Shout out to Jake Flynn giving us $10. What a hell of a year for his Chattanooga Mocs. He hit the NIT future there. Shout out to that.
100-1.
Yes, and absolute the best in the business. Go Mocs. Hey, shout out to you, Jake. Appreciate the donation. Enjoy your victory. I hope the Mocs make the NCAA tournament next year. I thought it was great seeing Terrell Owens there, and a really good NIT game despite a lot of missed free throws and a couple bogus 3-point. I had the Mocs, by the way, money line. But let's go. Great win, great season. Dan Arrow, good hire. We do have one more game on the slate, And I was hoping if the chat could help me find a line right now. The Crown has one game that we just found out. Villanova took down USC 60-59, setting up the semifinal there of UCF Villanova in Vegas tomorrow, or sorry, Saturday.
Nova's a 2 favorite on KenPom, but again, that's factoring in a lot of UCF production that is missing.
Yeah, you're gonna want to. I mean, these lines have been bouncing all around, but I'm on Villanova. I was kind of in a weird spot there because I had Nova and USC futures, but then I also had bet Nova minus the points, so I ate shit on that. But I was like, if I'm not going to cash that, I want USC to win the game outright, so my bigger future could win. Just sweating all sides of this shit. But I'm going to take Nova minus if it is, let's just say it's 3. Add a point onto that. If it's 3.5, I'm still taking Nova. And if you get back to 5.5 is where I worry a little bit. Mac, where's your threshold there?
Give me the Knights. Just give me the Knights outright. This tournament makes no sense. This is a UCF type of tournament. Win games that they shouldn't win. Johnny Dawkins gonna get a contract extension out of this baby. Let's go. Go Knights.
Mike Nardi's coaching for his job. Sorry, Bieniek, go.
He ain't getting a job. Willard's got it.
No,
Willard could hire him onto the.
Talking about the Cleveland State job or the Central Michigan job. Bieniek, what are you doing here?
I'm going with UCF too. You look at the way that this team, the chat saying that they're missing production. Yeah, I get
they've
it.
been missing it the whole tourney.
That's why I'm shitting on this entire tournament, because they are winning games still. But they're winning games in this style of the way the tournament's been the entire time. Nova bottom 15 in tempo in the country. UCF top 15 in tempo in the country. These style of games definitely is going to favor UCF, a team that will run third game in 5 days or whatever it's going to be. I think there's an element to it as well. Like UCF now has some guys that didn't really see the floor a ton during the year. They're playing pretty hard, whether it be transfer portal cash because there's 8 guys in the portal, or a role on this team next year in front of Dawkins. I like UCF.
All right, we're doing battle on the final fucking Crown game on Saturday. Dundee on the Wow.